that was a great first episode. That was a really good first episode. Um, I though they changed some of the things in the comics, it was still pretty good. Because like in the comics, Steven is like the millionaire
Yeah.
uh, personality. Now he's like a museum curator. And in the comics, that Ethan Hawke's character is a scientist. Now he's like a cult leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though they changed it up a bit, it was still good,
I
pretty
Yeah.
good.
I feel like if whenever it comes to any comics, I think this is probably the one that they could have the most creative freedom with because Moon
Mm.
Knight has been talked about so much as a Batman replicant, but never as its own story. I mean, in popular culture. Unlike like many of the other ones, even Guardians of the Galaxy to some extent. Well, no, less so Guardians of the Galaxy, but all the other Marvel characters, I feel like Moon Knight, you have the most widespread because
Mm.
you have an ability to either lock yourself into a story that's already way too familiar, or open it up and have something like what was that M Night Shyamalan movie that was part of the
Un- Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, right? But the one that was with the guy with the multiple personalities,
Split.
the
Uh,
Split, yeah.
Split.
So I think you have this ability. So for me, I mean I enjoyed it. The tease was enough to annoy me to want to know what the next thing is, which
Yeah, yeah,
they learned, and I can tell that Marvel is learning how to grab their audience faster.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
though it seems to be at the cost of longer seasons.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was definitely the best first episode of anything we've seen from Marvel so far. I'm not saying the others are terrible, but it left me satisfied.
Yeah,
So a lot of them left me kind of confused or kind of okay. You're setting the table, rightio. I'll just sit through this first episode while you introduce these characters. I'll just okay. I'll just this one. Right from the very moment we saw Ethan Hawke's character with the broken glass on the feet,
yep,
I was like, "What is this?" And I'm glad that
Yes.
he's not. I'm glad he's not a scientist. I'm glad because there's plenty of scientists in Marvel,
yeah.
Yes.
and this
Yes.
is our first cult leader, and
Technically,
that and
second if you want to add the 10 Rings father, because him
but
being ten
that's
thousand years.
isn't that as a terrorist organization? That's kind of
Yeah,
like
true, true,
so.
true.
This one was like this guy's got weird, weird powers going on,
Right.
um, but he's still human. But he's got the little tattoo and
I
stuff. So
Justice weight scale.
I I agree that it was a good mix up. Like we've got too many scientists in the MCU and
yeah, yeah.
not enough mystic stuff.
And it's not
But
even this isn't even fully mystic. I mean, it is mystic, but it's not mystic in the magical sense as much as it's mystic in the ethereal sense, which I'm actually happy for. And I mean, even though Egyptian lore is one of the single most overplayed ethereal lores, I still can appreciate that. Though I was partially kind of hoping that this would actually kind of connect a little bit more to the Eternals, because the concept of those Egyptian gods actually being manifestations of what the actual Eternals were. But now knowing that Amin
yeah,
is
right.
really just the gator Egyptian god, so he kind of takes that away. But I do kind of wonder if they're going to play them into each other for the sake that they would technically kind of be in the same space. It, the
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, this we've got to see how this one plays out. It could
Yeah,
easily just link into any number of things. I heard the writers being interviewed saying that this isn't going to directly link into anything um, yet. Like
yeah.
maybe, but I'm just keen to see where this one goes on its own 2 feet. And I think to me, it's all about Oscar Isaac. He just nailed that whole episode. That was just him center stage going for it.
I feel so happy for him right now because he's finally going to have a hero, a comic book character that he's actually meant to play and people will actually care about, and the product will be good as well. Because he's just been getting screwed over between Apocalypse. I know technically Star Wars isn't a comic book
Yeah,
origination,
yeah.
but even in that,
Yeah.
it's underwhelming. I forgot what the other forays that he did. He's done like one or like two more, like one other foray into the comic world, and it never hits right when it comes with
Yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
Isaac, and he's such a talented actor.
Oh man,
Yes.
he's good. He's good
Like
in this.
first time I took notice of Oscar Isaac, and it was in the movie 10 years after, I think.
Yes, whenever he did the music, yeah, dude, I listened to his
Yes.
song on that one like still to this day. That was the first time I knew about who Oscar Isaac was. Whenever they go back to college, and it's not go back to college, it's the reunion thing, and yeah.
Yeah, and this
Oscar
is
Isaac. Yeah, sorry.
but this is just such a good role. This is, I can imagine there's probably a lot of other actors in the Marvel acting, different Marvel characters, thinking, "Gee, I wouldn't mind a character like this," because it's funny. He's like a ultra nervous geek, kind of a guy, and yet there's more to this character, but to these other characters to come, he's got more roles to play, and it looks
But that's
both
the
dangerous and fun.
but that's the also thing. Who could do it properly? Like I think that's also the key is doing it properly. Though for whatever it's
Heath
worth.
Ledger.
Rest in peace. Yeah, he could rest in peace.
But Heath Ledger doesn't do the nervous guy very well. Also, credit to Oscar Isaac for doing probably one of the better. Maybe I'm not going to be the authority, but I don't care. One of the better British accents because it doesn't feel like the typical British, Americanized British accent that you go. It seems more of the actual like British accent. That London,
Yeah.
that East London, if I can remember. It's all
Letigator.
nerdy and that
Yeah,
because Oscar
Letigator.
Isaac's American. Like I had to remember for a second. I was like, the dude's American. He's not English.
And he's also got one of the most infuriating nemesis already in that chick. What's her name? Donna?
Oh yeah, which is
Ah,
perfect. Like,
oh man, she's a
yo.
bitch. That one.
Yeah.
Hey.
which is why I'm also happy they didn't make him a millionaire playboy. One, because it would have felt way super Tony Starkish. And I'm actually kind of tired of rich superheroes because it kind of takes away from
Or
the
Bruce Wayne.
or what?
Yeah. Bruce
Bruce
Wayne.
Wayne.
Right. Yeah, I don't want any more and that as well too. Like I don't want rich heroes. I want heroes that struggle. All right. You got powers. All right. You got abilities. You don't need to have money as well too. At that point, it's just cheating. It's just cheating at that point. So, like to make him like at least one of his personalities to be basically a punk.
Yeah.
The man nabbed a girl and then didn't even know he nabbed a girl because it was his other personality. Yo,
Oh,
the
man.
best. And he
She
would
was
have
good
ruined
looking
it
too.
anyways, which is what makes it even funnier.
Yeah. No, he was. He screwed that one up. She was good too. So, and
That's not his fault. He had no control. But
I know
that's
what
work.
you feel sorry for him. He has that really awkward, geeky, insecure guy thing that made him instantly likable. Even though, again, this is only one of his personalities. There's still, in the comic books, there's several, but
I think we're only getting 3, obviously, in this. I think we're getting obviously the main dude, then we're getting Mark Spector, and then I think we're getting the cabbie. And I think those are going to be the primary 3 that we have.
yeah. Well, I mean, again. This doesn't feel to me like a superhero. This feels like a horror or a thriller or an adventure more than it does. And I was thinking about this is definitely one I've immediately I've appealed to, and I was thinking about the other ones I really like, and they all are very similar to me. The Loki, WandaVision, And these are the ones I really like. These are the
You
ones
you love the ethereal. You love the things that take you out of the world, because even the magic isn't it's still in world, but the stuff that seems to take it outside the realm of normality.
But without having a solid definition of what is a superhero story, none of those, arguably, those three stories are not superhero stories.
Right.
Like Wanda is, she is a baddie in that. She's a baddie in that. I mean, you could argue that, you know, the witch, the other witch, what's
Agatha?
her face? Agatha is the worst baddie, but she's not a goodie in that. She doesn't do anything great except fight with Agatha at the end. Loki's just all about discovering he who remains, getting to the bottom of a mystery. He doesn't actually do too much superhero stuff, if any, except fighting with the big monster at the end, I guess. And this one, I don't know. We don't know yet, do we? But doesn't present itself as a superhero. Obviously, there's Ethan Hawke's character which needs to be defeated, but
and whoever's the voice of the Scarab of the Moon Knight, or whoever it is, you know, that
if
the guy is clearly does not have the idea of holding back, because the level of dead people that he has put out
no.
I am hoping the next episode that we see things from Mark Spector's point of view.
Yes.
Right?
I think there's a good chance that'll happen.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe!
Die. Oh, die.